Hi there, this is Doctor with Rangers of Wrestling bringing your Impact review for August 12th, 2021. Alright, so Impact started off with Tenille Dashwood versus Taylor Wilde. I think this was a decent match between both ladies. Of course, Caleb with the gate attempted to get involved and cause a distraction, but ultimately what allowed Tenille Dashwood to win was a returning Madison Rayne. Yes, Madison Rayne returned and she assisted Tenille Dashwood in this match. So, does this mean Madison Rayne is coming out of retirement? What does this mean? I guess we have to tune in and find out because I'm intrigued as to what this partnership means. After that, we had Josh Alexander versus Davari. I thought this was a good match, but I am a fan of Josh Alexander. I think he always puts on good matches. Of course, in the middle of the match, Jake Something did show up, and he was viewing the match. Josh Alexander is scheduled to face Jake Something at Emergence, but despite that, Josh Alexander picked up the win, and in the end, Jake Something handed the X Division title, to Josh Alexander. So I'm really excited to see Josh Alexander versus Jake Something. It should be a good match. So then after that, we got a Kiera Hogan segment. She came onto the ring and basically said that she thought Tasha was a real one. She thought Tasha understood her better. And she lays out a challenge for Tasha. But instead of Tasha Steelz coming out, we get Su Yung and Kimberly. And they basically drag Kiera Hogan out of the ring. I know they're trying to find a way to write off Kiera Hogan because she's no longer with Impact. I guess this is their way to do it. I'm not sure if Emergence will be her final appearance, but I know she's no longer with Impact, so they're trying to write her off. Next, we got BeyBlade or Switch Bay versus FinJuice. So I thought Switch Bay had a great teamwork, and I thought they worked really well together. It was a good match between both. Of course, FinJuice almost picked up the win, but Jay White came and hit David Finlay with the steel chair. And he was basically sending a message to David Finlay ahead of their match at Resurgence, which I will be attending. And I'm super excited because it is my first ever New Japan Pro Wrestling show. And I will probably do an unbiased review as a first-time viewer of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Alright. So then after that, we have Matt Cardona versus John Skyler. I don't know who John Skyler is. I have never heard of him. But I basically thought this was a jobber match. That's the way I thought it was going. It was a jobber match. But Rohit Raju and Chiro come out, cause a distraction, and allow John Skyler to pick up the victory over Matt Cardona. I have no idea where this angle is going, but what do you guys think? Where do you guys think this whole angle is going? Do you guys maybe see Rohit challenging Matt Cardona in the future? It's crazy. I don't know. So then after that, we had a number one contender battle royal to determine who will face the winner of Christian Cage and Kenny Omega. So a couple of spots in this battle royal. Number one, Morrissey eliminated 3 men. He eliminated Johnny Swinger, Hernandez, and Suicide. Everyone had to go after Morrissey. They went after him twice. Of course, you always go after the big guy. And it took all the men to eliminate Morrissey. Petey Williams got eliminated by Steve McClan. And then Fala eliminated Mad Fullerton because he sacrificed himself to save Ace Austin. Another spot that I liked was that Brian Myers pushed Sam Beal into Trey Miguel, which caused Trey to get eliminated. And while in the middle of Ace Austin getting eliminated, Mad Fulton came back and saved Ace Austin, but it was to no avail because Ace Austin still got eliminated. So it came down to 3 men. It was Moose, Chris Sabin, and Brian Myers. Brian Myers is pretty much incapacitated throughout the rest of the match. And it was Moose versus Chris Sabin. Now, it looked like Chris Sabin was going to eliminate Moose, but what ended up happening was that Brian Myers eliminated both men. And now he's a new number one contender to face either Kenny Omega or Christian Cage. I have to say, I was completely and totally shocked with Brian Myers winning because it just came out of the left field. Really, I did not foresee this. Did you guys foresee this? What are your thoughts on Brian Myers becoming the number one contender for the Impact title? I mean, there's no way he could beat Kenny Omega. Like, really? Really? Brian Myers, let's say Kenny Omega wins. It's going to be Kenny Omega versus Brian Myers? There's no way Brian Myers is going to defeat Kenny Omega. But what if it's Brian Myers versus Christian Cage? Is Brian Myers believable enough to beat Christian Cage? What do you guys thought on that? It's crazy. I really thought that maybe Moose would win or Chris Sabin would win. But really? Brian Myers? Really? That was arguably the biggest shock of the night. What did you guys think of Brian Myers winning? Did you guys agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments section. And speaking of the Impact title, tomorrow on Rampage, it will be Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the Impact title. Do I see Christian Cage defeating Kenny Omega? Yes and no. There's a part of me that thinks that Christian might be the one to take the title off Omega. But then there's a part of me that thinks that Christian Cage may not be the one to take the title off Kenny Omega. And honestly, it's like they were building all these storylines. They teased Josh Alexander versus Kenny Omega. And now we might not even get that match if Christian Cage defeats Kenny Omega. You know, and I really wanted to see that match. So if Christian Cage doesn't defeat Kenny Omega, obviously Brian Myers isn't. So where do we go from here? But let's say Christian Cage does defeat Kenny Omega tomorrow. Does Brian Myers defeat Christian? Or are we going to get potentially Christian versus Josh Alexander Bound for Glory? I don't know. I'm scratching my head trying to figure out the possibilities for the coming title defense. But I guess the only thing we can do now is just tune in tomorrow on the debut episode of Rampage and try to figure out what's going to happen. All I know, in my honest opinion, I might sound like I'm rambling here, but I guess whoever wins between Christian and Kenny Omega will probably go on to defeat Brian Myers. And we'll see where they go from there. But definitely going to be watching to see who wins tomorrow. Well, thank you guys all so much for listening to this review. I apologize for not going live, but I had some other stuff I had to take care of. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live. And I'll see you guys next time. I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.